Hey, we are in Job chapter 23 through 26. Job's friends are positive that God is against Job. But Job doesn't agree with that. He just wants his day in court. He wants to be able to defend himself. So let's go ahead and get into chapter 23. Job said, "Today I complain bitterly because God has been cruel and made me suffer. If I knew where to find God, I would go there and argue my case. Then I would discover what he wanted to say. Would he overwhelm me with his greatness? No, he would listen because I am innocent. He would say, I now set you free. I cannot find God anywhere, in front or back of me, to my left or my right. God is always at work, though I never see him. But he knows what I am doing, and when he tests me, I will be pure as gold. I have never refused to follow any of his commands, and I have always treasured his teachings. But he alone is God, and who can oppose him? God does as he pleases, and he will do exactly what he intends with me. Merely the thought of God all-powerful makes me tremble with fear. God has covered me with darkness, but I refuse to be silent." Why doesn't God set a time for court? Why doesn't his people know where he can be found? Sinners remove boundary markers and take care of sheep they have stolen. They cheat orphans and widows by taking their donkeys and oxen, and the poor are trampled and forced to hide in the desert, where they and their children must live like wild donkeys and search for food. If they want grain or grapes, they must go to the property of these sinners. They sleep naked in the cold because they have no cover, and during a storm, their only shelters are caves among the rocky cliffs. Children whose fathers have died are taken from their mothers as payment for a debt. Then they are forced to work naked in the grain fields because they have no clothes and they go hungry. They crush olives to make oil and grapes to make wine, but still they go thirsty. And along the city streets, the wounded and dying cry out, yet God does nothing. Some rebel and refuse to follow the light. Some, soon as after sunset, they murder the poor and the needy, and at night they steal. Others wait for the dark, thinking they won't be seen if they sleep with the wife or husband of someone else. Robbers hide during the day and then break in after dark because they reject the light. They prefer night to day, since the terrors of the night are their friends. Those sinners are filthy foam on the surface of the water, and so their fields and vineyards will fall under a curse and won't produce. Just as the heat of summer swallows the snow, the world of the dead swallows those who sin. Forgotten here on earth, and with their power broken, they taste sweet to worms. Sinners take advantage of widows and other helpless women, but God's mighty strength destroys those in power. Even if they seem successful, they are doomed to fail. God may let them feel secure, but they are never out of his sight. Great for a while, gone forever. Sinners are mowed down like weeds. Then they wither and die. If I haven't spoken the truth, then prove me wrong. Bildad from Shua said, God is the one to fear because God is in control and rules the heavens. Who can count his army of stars? Isn't God the source of light? How can anyone be innocent in the sight of God? To him, not even the light of the moon and stars can ever be pure. So how can we humans when we are merely worms? Job said, you have really been helpful to someone weak and weary. You have given great advice and wonderful wisdom to someone truly in need. How can anyone possibly speak with such understanding? Remember the terrible trembling of those in the world of the dead below the mighty ocean? Nothing in that land of the death and destruction is hidden from God, who hung the northern sky and suspended the earth on empty space. God stores water in clouds, but they don't burst, and he wraps them around the face of the moon. On the surface of the ocean, God has drawn a boundary line between light and darkness, and columns supporting the sky tremble at his command. By his power and wisdom, God conquered the force of the mighty ocean. The heavens became bright when he breathed, and then the escaping sea monster died at the hands of God. These things are merely a whisper of God's power at work. How little we would understand if this whisper ever turned into thunder. So here we see that Job is admitting he can't get through to God, yet he felt that God was still in charge. He was still in charge of everything, the depths of the ocean to the moon, the clouds, the rain, everything. So we read Bildad's final speech, and it's the last speech of the three friends. And Bildad strikes a nerve with Job, and Job seems to responding just to Bildad, not to the other three. So as we go, Charles Spurgeon, a famous preacher, kind of summed up something that with Job, and it's a question for us. It's a question that I want to leave you with today. Do you know your way? Do you know your own way? If so, is it a comfort to know that God knows your way? Do you know your way? And are you okay with God knowing your way? If you're not, then the way that you're going is not the right way. Choose the right way. Have a great day.